Hi, so we're at chapter 4 of Tanya. And this chapter is the 3 garments of our soul. The godly soul finds expression through the garments of thought, speech, and action of Torah study and mitzvos. You see, every divine soul possesses these 3 garments. Like garments, a person can put them on or take them off at will. When the soul utilizes any of these 3 soul powers, it is clothed in them. When it does not use them, then it is divested of them. Just as garments give expression to their wearers' beauties and importance, so too, when the soul dons and utilizes these garments, its intellect and emotions find expression. An example would be, find a person who looks all ragged in torn clothes and exchange their garments for royal garments with a crown and with the scepter, and voila, they just look so dignified. So our thoughts, our speech, and our actions want to be used by the godly soul in a good and godly way. And Tanya teaches us, as infinite as our godly soul is, each added mitzvah elevates our soul infinitely, because each Torah mitzvah is God's infinite wisdom, and we have a chance to bond and unite with that infinite wonder when we engage in our thoughts, speech, and actions in a godly way. You know, when I was learning this chapter, I was thinking how awesome it is, as infinite my soul is, that it could get elevated infinitely from that one mitzvah. And I was thinking, who has the best garments in reality? A bride, right? She gets up in the morning and she's so excited to go collect all her garments, and she's ready for the day. And she doesn't feel burdened by them, all those running around errands to collect her garments. So I was thinking, we could wake up every day and really feel beautiful like a kala, and visualize ourselves getting excited for the day to elevate each part of our being, just like a kala is all excited to be the most beautiful that day. And you see, Hashem's 613 mitzvahs are divided into the 248 ta'aseh mitzvahs, which are the commandments that we want to do in a positive way, allowing us to be more and more in love of Hashem by doing all these positive mitzvahs. And then there's the 365 lo taseh, the mitzvahs that we are the commandments of not to do this and not to do that. And that actually is likened to the body. 248, right, represents the organs, and the 365 represents the blood vessel. So too, in our worship of Hashem, each dimension of our mitzvah literally is a channel by which God's specific expression of His soul is expressed through our soul. If you know that the blood vessels are being, dispersed throughout our body, but there's a limit of how much should be in each part of our body. So, for instance, you don't want X amount more than the hand needs, and you don't want X amount more than the heart needs or the brain needs. Each one is channeled and restricted in a sense, so that no more than what is needed will spill forth in that particular part of the body. So too, the lo taseh mitzvot, when we don't engage in these negative behaviors, we allow the amount of spiritual energies to reside within us, and we make sure that it doesn't get divested or that it spills over to other energies of the world to use our holiness in a not good way. So for instance, when we have tzniut and we cover our elbows, because that's the halacha. So there's a law that you should not expose your elbows. So when you do that mitzvah and you cover your elbows, so you're keeping the blood, life force, holy energy within you, and making sure that it's not going to spill over and get dispersed into the world so that others can use that power to do negative things. There was once a story of a man who was blind, and he actually had a near-death experience, and as his soul was leaving his body, he was able to see everything that was going around in the operating room. They revived him, and they came to such a shock that he came back into life. But as he was describing his experience, his out-of-body experience, he was actually saying to them everything that was going on, and even describing the clothing and the colors. So